everyone. Thank you for having me here today to speak. My name is Catherine Jennings and my husband Barry has MND for over 6 years now. I suppose I'll start with telling our story from the beginning, but this is our journey and every single MND diagnosis and journey is different, individual and painfully unique. At the moment, Barry is doing okay and is still walking and talking, but with great difficulty. But I am grateful for that every single day and long may it last. Back in 2018, we were living our lives as normal, like any young couple does. We had spent a year in Australia, we're thinking about our future and planning for different things and just enjoying life in general. Barry had a few ear, nose and throat symptoms and was getting a few small investigations done here and there to see what the problem was. But like many, everything was coming back clear. At that time, he had slightly slurred speech, especially when he had a couple of drinks. We were noticing some drool stains down the front of t-shirts and shirts. Barry was an amazing singer and guitar player, and he had noticed that he couldn't hit some high notes singing. We also had to take a close-up passport picture of him for a new job and noticed a slight droop in the left side of his face. And then one day he said to me, his tongue felt different in his mouth, and I thought to myself, something isn't right here. So off to his GP he went, and she referred him to neurology in Galway, and that's where we got the news. It's a form of MND, and our little lives changed forever in that room. It's hard to explain to someone who hasn't experienced life-changing news like that, but I try to explain it by saying it's like your whole little life is in this gorgeous little box. And then one day someone comes, picks it up, shakes it, and it all falls apart, and then just says, okay, sort that out now, live with that now, because that's exactly how it felt, and that's still how it feels on those really, really hard days. The beginning of the MND journey is strange because you were absolutely catapulted into this whole new world. And let's be honest, nobody wants to be in it. As I said earlier, we are 6 years into this journey now and have picked up a few things along the way. For us with Barry, we are very lucky because Barry's progression has been quite slow, so we've had more time to try, and try being the main word there. But we have had more time to adapt to things as we have gone along. I respect the medical staff so much, but at the end of the day, you know your person better than anyone. And if something feels off to you, or if you feel something is being overlooked, then stand your ground with respect and fight for your person, because a lot of the time they don't have the energy or voice to fight for themselves. As you all know here, this disease takes everything from your loved one and you. Of all the things MND has taken, I miss Barry's voice. I miss the crack we used to have, laughing and joking, and I miss the flow of conversation we used to have that would keep us talking for hours. Being a carer is the hardest thing I've ever done in my whole life. It has come with every emotion under the sun, but it is also the most rewarding thing I've ever done, and I've learned a lot about myself since taking on this role. It's putting someone else's needs before your own on a daily basis, but believe me when I say that your needs still matter, and I cannot stress that enough. The care I provide means that Barry will stay in our home for all of his illness, and with the support from the amazing IMNDA and the amazing MND nurses, you are not on your own. Reach out to them and ask for the help that you need. That's what they are there for, and they are so happy to help. You are not Superwoman or Superman. You are human. And as cheesy as it sounds, you need to pour into your own cup as much as possible, because you cannot pour from an empty cup. I learned that the hard way, unfortunately, and absolutely ran myself into the ground a few times and just burnt out. Of all the emotions that being a carer has brought, guilt, good old Irish guilt, guilt has been the most prevalent, but I work really hard on trying to ease that, because I cannot cure Barry, I cannot take away all his struggles that MND has given him, even though I want to, but that's just not possible. Carer stress is real, so take your breaks and respite when you can, because it really does recharge your battery. And research shows that carers are at particular risk of experiencing poor health, both emotionally and physically, and sometimes the risk of emotional distress is higher for carers than for those whom they are caring for, because they now have multiple responsibilities that previously would have been shared. Your self-care has to be top tier, and you need to do this daily, because unfortunately nobody else is going to do that for you. Sometimes the person you are caring for may be reluctant to accept outside help or family help, but that doesn't mean you have to hold all the slack. You are only one person and you can't do it all. even though sometimes you feel like you might have to. The IMNDA offers funding for counselling and therapy for both of you, either individually or as a couple, so please avail of it. I don't think I would be standing here today without the support of my therapist. Like most carers here, I did not go to college to become a carer. I am winging this every single day and doing the very best that I can do, and that's all any of us can do. It's also okay not to be 100% comfortable with all aspects of care that's involved for your loved one, no matter how much you love them. For example, I really hate feet. So when the opportunity came up for Barry to see a chiropodist, I jumped at the chance, and that's absolutely okay. The IMNDA recently ran a Caring for Caregivers online course, and I found it amazing. The fact that it was facilitated by Mary Scariff, who is a trained psychotherapist, made it feel so safe. And then having Johanna there to answer any questions in relation to services or grants, etc., was so helpful. Meeting other carers in the exact same situation as me was a really lovely thing, because being a carer can be very lonely at times. And having that support from other carers I found was just lovely, and I really learned a lot. I would highly recommend any carer to sign up to the next course, as it is such a lovely supported space. On the course, we touched on so many important subjects like anticipatory grief, stress, guilt, relationships, conflict and anger, boundaries, sleep, breathing and grounding. I admire everyone who was on that course, but especially the people who were dealing with a new diagnosis. I am not lying when I say to you, I did not know my arse from my elbow when Barry was first diagnosed. So a massive well done to you all, because I genuinely don't think I could have done that in the early days. Don't let MND define you. Don't let MND break you or turn you bitter against the world, because for all the cruel in the world, and there's plenty, there is such beauty and kindness, and the kindness of people never ever ceases to amaze me, and I hold that very close. I am grateful to everyone who has helped and will continue to help us on the rest of this journey. Be open to help, but don't feel pressurized into accepting it all, because it has to suit you as a couple or a family. Some people think that they are helping, but unless the help is tailored for you, don't be afraid to put your boundaries in place and don't feel one bit bad about it. What help looks like for one might be a hindrance to someone else, and that is also okay. Make the most of the time you do have, as best you can. Do things that you both enjoy and make all the memories and take the bloody pictures. We do our best to focus on what Barry can do and not on what he can't do. I really want to thank you all for listening to my story today, and if someone got something out of it, then all the better. But please remember that you matter just as much as the MND warrior you care for. My therapist told me on one of our very first sessions years ago, MND is going to take one person, don't let it take two. Thank you.